What's up, guys, and welcome to the first episode of the O.P.O.C. podcast. I'm your host, James, and today I have a very special guest, a friend of mine, a co-worker, Jeff.
How's it going? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thank you.
I want the audience to kind of understand who you are as a person, so I'm going to ask you a couple of things. Maybe we'll tell a story or two, and then we'll get into the depth of the podcast.
Sounds good.
Question number one. If you were taking a shower, hypothetically, right? And amongst the shower, you know, you're washing your body, you're chilling, having a good time, maybe singing, you know, having like a vibe in the shower alone. You instantly get hit with the urge to take a massive fucking shit. For some reason, I don't know, maybe you're lactose intolerant, diarrhea's coming. You're going to get out the shower, take the shit, get back in the shower? Or are you going to stay in the shower, then later, when you're done showering, get out and take a shit?
Yeah, I'm going to stay in the shower. And then when I'm done, I'll get out and drop that bomb.
You do realize that you're not going to have a clean ass until the next time you shower, which could be typically about 24 hours.
True.
So you're still going to go with the fact that you would go after.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with that.
Why?
I'm kind of lazy to get out of the shower. You got to dry off and all that to go sit down.
Yeah, but like, at least you know you'll be clean. Don't you think it's better to be clean than not to be clean?
I don't think you're going to get as dirty as you're thinking.
You don't know some of the shits I take, man. Sometimes, man, you know it's a good shit when you're fucking ripping off your clothes. You're sitting there on the toilet naked, sweating, praying to God that you don't eat that bean burrito again.
You got to dry off, though, first before you sit down. You'll be sitting on a slippery seat.
But at least you're clean.
I don't know. I'm going to stick with my original answer.
Now, all right, so same hypothetical, but you have to take a shit before the shower. You're going to take it before or after?
Well, before then. If I have to go before, then I would.
All right, that at least justifies it. So I know you have the one tattoo on your arm.
Yes.
And it's I believe it's based off your favorite band or one of your favorite bands.
Punk band.
Can you describe
the Weasel tattoo from Screeching Weasel. It's their logo.
I know you told me once that you have a funny story involving when you got the tattoo. You want to share it to the lovely folks listening?
Of course. No, it was, we were getting to, it was me, I think it was a couple of friends of mine. We were just about finishing my tattoo, and we were talking for a little bit, and we asked him, he actually gave us like two stories. We asked him like the weirdest tattoos he ever gave, and first he told us about the one. He said a guy came in, he was real drunk.
Yeah.
And he said he wanted the worst tattoo you can think of on his forehead. And
God.
So he gave it to him, and I guess, obviously he was drunk in that, so he didn't remember, and he said he actually ran into him like a year after that, and he had like long hair and it was covering it. It was a giant fireball he tattooed on him.
Like a fireball based off the alcohol, or just like a random fireball?
Just a random fireball.
That's fucking weird.
And so the guy had it covered up, and he was asking about it, and he lifted up his hair and he showed it to him, and he was like, "I'm the guy that gave you that tattoo." Like, he didn't even remember it was that guy.
The dude didn't even know?
Yeah, that's how, messed up he was. And then the other one was, he was telling us how a guy came in and said he just wanted his dick tattooed red.
His dick tattooed red?
Yeah, like his whole dick tattooed red.
That's...
And,
that hurts.
Yeah. But the interesting part was, while he was telling us the story, the guy came in.
Oh, God.
And he goes, "Speaking of you," he's like, show him your dick.
Just whip out your dick in front of 4 or 5 grown men.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, all grown men. And,
was the dick red?
It was. Very red.
Was it beautiful?
Oh, it was a beautiful shade of red.
Were you inspired? Did you feel like getting it done yourself?
No, not that.
You're just going to leave it to him?
Yeah. Yeah, he could do that. I'm good. I'm good with the one tattoo.
That's good. At least you don't got a red dick.
That's right.
The other day, I was reading an article online, and I like a lot of conspiracy theories. You know, I know you're big into conspiracy theories, horrors, and there's this one on the Dyatlov Pass incident, and I know we've talked about it before, and I know you're more in this subject than I am.
Yeah,
On what happened. So you want to fill in what happened in the story?
Well, it's basically about the 9 hikers. I think it happened, in the late 60s? Something like that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Where they were on that, I guess that Dyatlov Pass. Well, that's what they call it now. That's not what it was called originally. And they went missing, basically, for a couple of weeks before they finally sent out, like, a search for them. And I guess when they found it, it was just, weird. Like, it was... The tents were all knocked down, but they were cut open from the inside. And as they were finding all the bodies, they were, like, half-clothed, and they had, like, internal injuries, but not external injuries.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a big mystery for a while at what actually happened, which I don't know actually what happened, I guess.
I don't think anybody does.
Yeah. I mean, some people say, like, it was animals that were eating them then. That's why they were etched. There was an avalanche. That's where they got their injuries from. Somebody said it was like government conspiracy. I don't know.
The article I was reading the other day, because I knew we were going to bring this topic up, because it's a very controversial topic. People listening, if you want to do your own research, it's called the Dyatlov Pass incident. It happened in 1960, like Jeff said. But the article I was reading, it came out not that long ago, 2021, 2022, so last year or this year.
Yeah.
A scientist came out, and he said that they believe that it was due to an avalanche, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I was further reading the article, another scientist said that the only reason why they might be making it about an avalanche is to make it more heroic. To say, oh, people were saving their friends instead of, some of the conspiracy theories, which are, like, more disgusting or gruesome.
Yeah.
Which is, what do you think happened?
I mean, I think it was an avalanche. They were probably trapped, so they cut the tents to get out, Yeah. They couldn't get actually at them, so they cut them. And, since they were in the tents, it was probably at nighttime or whatever. They weren't fully clothed, so when they were running out of it, that would explain why they're half-dressed.
But why are you naked in the cold?
Yeah, true.
See, that's the part that doesn't make sense. Why would you be half-dressed, sleeping in a tent, and below freezing temperature?
It's true. It's not like it's warm out.
Exactly.
It's not like it's warm in the tent either.
Exactly. You don't have a space heater in your tent.
Yeah.
So I don't see why people are naked.
No, the only part I was really, really interested about was the internal injuries, but no external injuries. I thought that was...
The way that the scientist who constructed that it was possibly an avalanche, because people were bringing up that question also, how did they get internal injuries?
Yeah.
And he said that they think that what happened was they used Frozen, the Disney movie Frozen, because of the snow effect that they were able to create in that movie for the animation.
Yeah.
They were able to talk to Disney, get the engine that created that snowfall, put it into a simulation of the whole area of where this took place. And he said that when the snow came down, they were sleeping, so they got crushed. It was more like of a crushing of the snow instead of a suffocation of the snow because they didn't know it was going to be there.
Yeah.
But then you also have the people who argue, well, if there was an avalanche, how come there's no evidence of an avalanche?
Yeah. So that's what I always heard, too, that there wasn't evidence of an avalanche.
So now all of a sudden in 2021, 2022, they're going to say it was an avalanche?
Yeah, right?
I believe, honestly, I'm starting to think maybe this is more of a conspiracy to where they're covering up something and they're trying to make it sound good because they don't want the truth to come out.
It's possible. They say there was military activity, like, somewhere within that area. Not quite there, but there was some kind of military activity.
What if they died? What if, like, they were uncovering something they shouldn't have uncovered?
They stumbled upon something, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a possibility.
That would be a reason why someone will die.
Yeah. Maybe they just try to make it look like an accident,
Exactly, like an avalanche. But again, why are they naked? Why are they naked in the snow?
It's true.
I mean, you have those challenges on social media where the people run outside in the snow. They're butt-ass naked. They jump in the snow or they're in their boxers. And they get up like in 2 seconds because it's freezing. So why would you be in a tent in your boxers in the snow?
I mean, unless they had blankets around them or something. Like they were actually sleeping when it happened.
Yeah, but who's? I mean, I granted people do sleep, in nude or in their boxers or in their underwear or whatever, but like in the snow.
I know, true.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't sleep naked in the snow.
But it is like there's actually a good movie about it. I can't remember what it was called though. But it's like it's more like a supernatural story where they actually like they go into time, like they disappear into time. Like they hit
really?
basically like a time vortex or something it was.
Kind of like that one. It's either on Netflix or HBO, one of the streaming services where like they're on that airplane. I think it's Netflix where they're in the airplane and like they're in the airplane for like 4 hours or something, and then they time shift.
Yeah.
Or 4 days or whatever, or years, 5 years, 4 years. You know what I'm talking about?
It's a Stephen King book, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Langoliers.
It's something like that.
It's where they go into the past or the future.
Yeah.
Like they travel through that thing. It was something like that in the movie. Like it was like there was aliens or something in it. And, I mean, that's obviously not what happened, but...
Do you believe in aliens?
I believe in the possibility of aliens.
So...
I don't know 100% is fact, though. Definitely possible. I mean, the universe is pretty big.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you don't believe in aliens, you're kind of just not... You're too closed-minded.
Yeah.
On a universe that's so massive.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely a chance of more life outside of Earth.
Exactly.
Let's put it that way.
And I feel like a lot of people get it confused when they hear aliens. They think an alien is a green guy from science fiction, which, that's probably not the case. It's probably like... An alien could be like a microorganism on Mars. That's an alien.
Yeah.
People don't understand that.
I mean, they'll definitely look different because they're going to adapt to their environment.
Exactly.
So, I mean, obviously, if they lived on Mars, I mean, they have a different environment than Earth. So their body would adapt to that.
Do you think Area 51 has aliens inside?
Possibly. I think they definitely have some kind of like alien technology. Like, not necessarily a spaceship, but,
I know there's been a couple of rare like things that people have said like have happened involving Area 51 where aliens have been like taken away or like they've seen like glimpses of this. I believe in it, man. I don't know if Area 51 has the aliens.
Yeah.
Now, because it's so popular that Area 51 has aliens.
Yeah.
But I think at one point maybe they did have aliens.
Probably with Roswell crash, basically. That's what pretty much started. That I think that they actually had some kind of like alien spacecraft technology, and that's where they're actually using it in Area 51.
Roswell's crash?
Yeah.
What's that about?
That's the one with something Roswell, New Mexico, something crashed, and they said it was like a weather balloon or something, but
it probably was not a weather balloon.
No, but apparently that people were saying that there were actually alien bodies there, like foreign bodies.
I wonder if that has to do with the one conspiracy theory I heard about JFK, the president that got assassinated. He had a very short-lived presidency, but they said that like there was an accident that involved aliens, multiple aliens.
Yeah.
They died. One survived. They took it to Area 51. They treated it with kindness.
Yeah.
Got it to it could speak. They found out how to get it to speak our language and communicate with it.
Yeah.
And then the alien itself.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a he, she, they, whatever. It was able to communicate back to its homeland. They then set up like a team of astronauts, and these people were in the United States. They completely erased. You could see it in the newspapers around that time. They erased these people from history.
Yeah.
Like they got into weird crashes, weird accidents where they died, but they didn't actually die. They were put on a space mission to go with this alien to its home planet. The alien died before it could reach like its motherland, but the ship still came back, picked up these like our people, sent them over to the other universe or the other planet or wherever it was at, and then they were there. They're only supposed to be there for 2 years to learn. They were there for 8 or 10, and more than half of them came back, but 2 of them decided to stay there.
Oh, really?
That's the rumor. I wonder if that has to do with the Rockwell.
Something about that story before.
Very interesting.
When did Roswell happen? That was what, the 40s?
I would say so.
I think so.
Had to have been around like the 40s, 50s, 60s, I would say.
Yeah, late 40s maybe.
And then people say that JFK, the reason why he got assassinated was because when he was talking about releasing information from the CIA,
that
he was going to release information that involved that alien accident, and then he was also going to release the information about how like they listened to us through our phones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the CIA and the government didn't think that the United States people were ready to handle such a disaster, so they murked him.
Really?
They hired someone to kill him.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. They also say that, well, if you think about it, recently, during COVID, during the pandemic, there's been video clips of UFOs that the government has released during COVID.
Yeah.
Which is like, why are they choosing it now?
They did. I remember there was that one military one they released.
Exactly.
That happened a while ago.
So I'm wondering if they're doing it because like at the time we were so interested in COVID.
Yeah.
That like they thought they could just throw it out there.
Sneak it out there and no one would notice.
And no one really noticed.
It's possible, yeah.
So maybe it's kind of confirming that some of this stuff is true.
Could be.
So do you think back to the Outlaws past that maybe it was aliens? Like the movie suggested?
I mean, could be. I don't think it was. I mean, it might have been military. Maybe.
But
who knows then?
Exactly, who knows?
Yeah.
Definitely interesting.
I know, right?
The Outlaws past.
Theories.
Theories are nice. I like theories. There's I know they debunked this one theory that I was a huge fan of, where this dude, you could see him, he had like a graphic t-shirt on in the photo. It's like a 1950s, 1960s era photo, so black and white. He's wearing like a graphic tee. It has like a simple logo, like something that would be more modern to today. He had like a Polaroid camera.
Yeah.
Or some form of camera that we'd have like in modern, like in not in that time zone.
Yeah.
And then he was wearing like sunglasses that were more to like earlier, like later stages of like fashion.
I've heard of it. Is this the video where someone's walking, they have like their hand by their ear, like someone saying that they're on their phone?
That's
like
another one that I've seen, very
that's
similar.
A different one,
yeah,
though.
it's different.
Okay.
But the dude, someone debunked it and they proved it. Like the person that created that camera back in like that time, I think it was like Polaroid or Sony or someone like that, or Kodak.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, we had those. They were just very rare.
Yeah.
And then like the photo was from like a university. It was a university T-shirt from like whatever the college was at the time that he was going to.
Yes.
You could see it in like the old photos from like the football team or the soccer team he was on.
Yeah.
And then
I did see that. That's right. I remember that because he did look out of place in the actual photo.
Exactly, because everyone's wearing like the top
yeah.
hats and like all that stuff, but he looks like just a geek kind
yeah.
of.
He
like,
did look outside. He did look out like an outcast from that photo.
But I do believe in time travel.
That's definitely a possibility.
I don't. Obviously, that photo was debunked, but
yeah,
time travel could definitely be a thing.
Well, I know the one with the guy walking past, and they said it looks like he's holding a phone. I think that was debunked too. I think that was more. It was like an ear. It was like a hearing aid.
Like a hearing aid
type thing, like an older version, obviously. Like when they were bigger. I don't think they went in your ear at the time. You actually kind of held it towards it, like when you wanted to hear someone talk. And I think that's what he was actually doing in it.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So you do believe in time travel?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
You think it's easier to go in the past or into the future? Like, if we were to go back into time, which one do you think we'd be able to? Do you think we'd understand it all at one time, or we could go back to the past and the future? Or do you think like time travel works in the way that you have to figure out one time before you can figure out the next? Like you have to figure out the past before you can figure out the future, or you have to figure out the future before you figure out the past?
Huh. I don't know on that one then. I know if you break the speed of light, you will be time traveling, but I think that's more for the future.
Yeah.
Like
so how would we go into the past?
See, that's the wow.
If you take the superhero initiative and you take like the Flash or Superman, they just reverse the way they fly and run around the world.
Yeah.
They run instead of running like at a clockwards, they run counterclockwise.
Yeah.
So maybe you counterclock the speed of light.
Maybe. Possibility.
Would you want to go into the past or the future?
Past.
Why?
Yeah, see where things went wrong.
Why? Are you going to change anything?
No, I don't think you'd so much be able to change anything if you went in the past.
If there was no time shift, like if you could do something that changed in the past, and it wouldn't drastically change the future, you would just get rid of that moment. What historical moment would you get rid of? What I would choose is there's a dude who made a water car. I would try to get him put further in the past.
Yeah.
That way he could make the water car and survive, and then we build all water cars.
So
and we
instead
don't
of,
use
like,
gas.
The Model T coming out would have been a water
It
car.
would have been a water car, and then now we'd all have water cars. They'd probably fly, probably have jetpacks.
That's kind of cool, then. Yeah.
Kind of like recently, I know that they said that the show The Jetsons, they have what's the main character's name? The dad?
George.
George Jetson. He was born this year, sometime this year. He would have been born. So that means when the show takes place, it's when I think he's like 40 years old. So like 40 years from 2022, it's like the 60s, 2062.
Yeah.
That we'd be living in their time zone. You think that's possible? You think that's going to be where we're going to be at?
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, that's 40 years from now. I think there's a lot of technology that will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We're definitely making shifts in the time.
Yeah.
You got like self-driving cars now. I mean, obviously they have their flaws.
Yeah.
You know, Tesla be like burning up, people be dying because people are being dumb and sleeping while they're driving. And, you know, even though it's an automatic car, I wouldn't suggest you go sleeping.
No, you should probably still pay attention.
Probably should definitely still pay attention. So, like, if you could go back, you know, past, present, future. Obviously, you wouldn't go to the present. We're talking about time travel. If you could go back, what would be a time event, something that you would do in the past or the future if you could time travel?
I don't think I'd change anything. It'd be more about observing. Like you know, there's always two different sides, two different stories of everything.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see the actual version. You know, like what
So
happened.
the truth.
Yeah. Like
Would you-
everything. You know, the JFK conspiracy, whatever. I want to see what actually happened.
If there was
Like,
actually
if there
aliens.
was actually something else.
Would you document it?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know
So
if I'd be able to prove it though. They think I'm nuts, I guess.
so the Jeff Book of Truth.
Yeah.
It'd kind of be like the Bible almost, but like you're the actual truth. So if the Bible was real or if it wasn't real, like this would be the historical actual book
Actual, like,
of
facts.
from
Like,
start to finish of where we are.
Instead of like being told what was real and how things happened by, you know, it was written down or whatever. Now you'd actually witness it. You'd be able to see it at all.
You know, they had this show when I was a kid where it was like a Bible show. You know, my mom was very Christian, Baptist Christian, old school Christian, so kind of strict when I was like in elementary school, not as lenient as she is today.
Yeah.
But there was a show where like these kids would hop inside this like time traveling machine, and they would go back in like Bible era days and relive the Bible stories and kind of like experience it for themselves. So kind of something similar like that,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah, like
historical
first-hand
evidence.
witness of it. Like actually seeing it happen.
Do you believe in a God? Speaking of,
Yeah, definitely believe in a possibility.
do you believe in like the idea of the Christian God, or just one God, or multiple gods, or just a higher being?
I believe more of a higher being than organized religion is touchy.
It
for
is
a lot
touchy.
Of people.
It is touchy.
It's you know, because it's, you know, my God's better than your God, basically.
Exactly.
You know.
A lot of wars in the Middle East about, you know, God told me I could be here.
Yeah.
That would be the one thing now that I'm thinking about. If I go back in time, I would want to know, how did we get here?
Yeah,
What
that'd be
created
nice.
Earth?
Yeah.
Are we in a simulation? Is this just made up? You think about video games nowadays and how far advanced we are with like technology. I'm sitting in front of a computer now that can run, you know, ray tracing in 4K at 60 frames per second, and it looks like I'm fucking walking outside, you know?
Yeah.
You put on a VR helmet, and it seems like you're
It's
in
like
a different
real, yeah.
reality. Exactly. You know, they have this game called The Walking Dead, and when you're playing it, it's called Saints and Sinners. When you're playing that game, you feel like you're amongst the dead, and
Yeah.
you're grabbing zombies and you're stabbing the shit out of them. It's a fun game, but like it,
Yeah.
you know, there's a sense of like, there's a zombie there, you know. So like, what if that's what our reality is? What if we're all just
We're all part
in a
of the Matrix,
simulation? Exactly.
basically.
Or you know, what if the creation is real, or the Big Bang, or both? What if both are together? You know, who knows?
Yeah.
But like, if you could go back in the past, you could see.
And just be
And
a witness.
Exactly. Imagine watching, you know, the event of how the Earth got here.
That'd be awesome.
Just how like crazy that would be. You could see the dinosaurs, man.
I know, right?
You know, some people say that the T-Rex didn't actually have like a big head and little arms. They're actually now saying that it had
Wings.
it had wings. If you
Yeah.
put the arms back, so it
Makes
could fly.
sense because they were really small. Can't see
Exactly.
what I'm doing, but they're small, like flipper arms.
So imagine like that shit flying. Like imagine if dinosaurs were still here and we just had T-Rexes just flying over our neighborhoods. How like crazy that'd be. They just look out like, "Mommy, there's a T-Rex T-Rex flying over the house. Get inside, Tommy.
You think we'd last with all them around?
No.
No, not a
You'd
chance.
have like the psychopaths running out with bazookas, like, I'm gonna kill me one of them. And then they fucking launch the bazooka, kill the T-Rex, the whole neighborhood's in flames. No. Think about how people treat like animals, bro. They hunt every single animal. They're gonna want to hunt every T-Rex.
Yeah. It'll be easy to find though, they're big.
I mean, true, but like, you know how long it's gonna take to kill that?
Yeah, that won't be easy.
Exactly. It's like if we had Godzilla walking around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that'd go over too well.
No. I don't think we'd have many cities left.
Probably not. Probably not. Better Godzilla or
If you're gonna say King Kong, it's King Kong.
King Kong. Yeah.
King
Why?
Kong.
Why King Kong?
I don't know. He just, yeah.
Yeah,
He just is. Trust me.
Just King Kong. He is. Yeah.
Climbed the Empire State Building. Climbed Twin Towers in the other movie.
So you think King Kong's better than Godzilla?
Yeah.
What about movie franchise-wise?
Well, Godzilla definitely made more.
Definitely.
A lot more.
But which ones are better? Your opinion. Which ones are better?
I liked actually the newer ones that are kind of combined, like that Son of, what was it, that Skull Island and Godzilla vs. Kong. They're all really good. I like that whole, how they're all together now.
I know they're a massive franchise. I never really watched either or. I know like bits and pieces from everyone does.
Yeah.
You know, like
Everybody
Kong.
knows Godzilla's like Cry.
Exactly.
It's like Scream.
It's like iconic monsters. But definitely interesting.
I think Godzilla's more popular, but
Godzilla is pretty popular. I mean, there's a lot more movies out for him, so that's probably why.
yeah.
And like he's like a monster that's like.
Yeah, he's
you know.
he's got about 30 some movies.
You ever
I'd
seen
say.
the older movies where like they have like the wacky costumes and that's
Oh,
how
those
he
are
is?
great.
Are you a fan of older films?
I do like older films, yeah.
Do you
I like everything, new, old.
do you
Horror wise, 80s more
80s?
than anything.
What
80s
type of
slasher.
80s strat? Which one's your favorite? Hard question, obviously.
Yeah, it
As a
is.
true horror fan, obviously that's gonna be a hard question to answer.
Um,
Some of your favorites,
some of my favorites. Well, obviously Halloween's a good one.
fan favorite.
It's from the late 70s though. But like, yeah, I mean, there's tons. I mean, I like weird 80s stuff too, though. I like Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
What's that about? Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Basically, yeah. Yeah, clowns come down and they kill people in interesting ways.
Interesting ways. What are they? What are some other ones that you like?
Humanoids from the Deep. I'm going low budget right now. Low budget 80s.
films?
Yeah, that might have been early 90s, that one.
So off the mainstream on the low budget.
Yeah,
All
Basket Case.
What's that about?
That's the guy that had like a conjoined twin, kind of.
Oh.
They severed it, so he walks around with it in a basket.
That's weird.
But they're telepathic. So like if the little part of him, I guess you could say, that's in the basket, he
Yeah.
goes out and kills, he sees it because they're like telepathic, so he can see what it's doing. So yeah, that was really good.
So they kind of see what the other one's doing, and they can like
Yeah,
interact with each other.
yeah. So like if one feels pain, the other one does.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
Kind of like twins.
yeah,
They say that twins can do that.
yeah.
That's weird.
It's basically like a head though. And
Just
like
a
an
head.
arm, and an arm.
That's weird.
that they cut off. He was on like the side of him.
Kind of
when
like
they
a
were
mini
bored.
me from that what is it? Austin Powers.
Yeah.
But like grosser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a little version of it.
Any other ones you like?
Oh, there's a ton. Funhouse. That was really good.
What's that about?
That's kind of given. They go to a fun house.
Yeah.
And, a lot of murder.
A lot of murder. I mean, isn't that every single horror movie?
Yeah.
Just a lot of murder.
I like low budget stuff, though. Low budget stuff's fun because they can sit there and be like, I made a movie. Even though, they didn't have the money to actually make it, but they still did it. And I'd love to do something like
Would you ever fund like a movie like that?
that. I would. Yeah.
Have you ever funded a movie?
I did, it wasn't really a movie. It was more of the documentaries, that In Search of Darkness.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3. When you, whatever money you pay for it, that goes toward, your actual name is in the credits.
In the credits?
Yeah.
Or they have you as like a donor in the credits?
Yeah.
So basically your legacy lives on through this podcast
Yeah.
and through the credits of
Those 3 movies.
those 3 movies. What are those movies about? Obviously you liked them so much that you donated.
Yeah, it's called In Search of Darkness. It's basically just a documentary about 80 slasher. So every single one, it starts in 1980, goes to 89. They're long. They're like 4 hours a movie. And they just pick certain movies out of each year, talk about them, talk about like giallo movies, like Italian films and stuff like that. They do like little side stories. And then every one, they just change. They do different ones as it goes on.
That's interesting. So it's like a documentary of the things that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
And now your
That's
name's
where I
in it.
found actually some of the movies I never heard of before.
Oh, really?
Like Humanoids from the Deep, that was on there. And that's low. That's about as low budget as you can get, but it's great.
How many horror movies do you think you own in your collection?
Oh, between voodoo and actual like discs.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot. A couple thousand. Let's put it that way. 2,000.
What are your favorite ones to collect at the moment?
Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah. How much you spend on that?
Too much.
Yeah.
Well, I started going back and getting all the slipcovers that I missed.
Yeah.
And that was quite expensive. And I still haven't watched one yet, though.
You still haven't watched them?
No.
Are you going to?
Eventually. There's like 375, I think they're on, something like that now.
Yeah.
I think it's around that. 300 and something anyway.
That's a lot of movies, man.
Yeah.
You have all that time in the world to be watching like thousands of movies.
I got no time.
Well,
I will do it, though, eventually.
you're going to die with them in the grave with you, or you're just going to pass them on to somebody else?
Oh, I'm going to pass them to somebody.
Yeah? I mean, it's a lot of money.
It is.
Are they nice?
They are. Some of them are expensive, though. 300.
What's the most expensive one you bought?
That would be that Blood Hook slipcover, 300.
Just the slipcover?
Yeah.
Not even the DVD?
I already had the Blu-ray. I just didn't have the slipcover.
So you spent $300.
Or did it come with did the slipcover come with it? No. I think it was just the slipcover.
You bought just the slipcover?
For almost 300. Well, it came from Germany, too.
So that could explain it.
That was like $20-some in shipping, I think, alone. So, yeah. But that one usually goes for about $250 to begin with, so I paid...
That's not bad.
Right around what it's going for if you take off the shipping and the fact that it came from Germany, which was the extra cost.
Yeah.
The shipping was a lot, and then the tax was a lot more because of the shipping.
Do you collect anything else? Horror-wise? Besides the movies?
I used to do horror boxes, like mystery boxes. I get horror pack. That's a 4-pack horror Blu-ray set every month. They have their own limited edition. It's not bad. It's a lot of stuff you heard of.
So, like, popular films?
Yeah, more popular. Some independent stuff, but the limited edition's nice. They actually, make it. So that's not bad.
So you're more of a fan of underrated, under-budget horror films?
Low budget.
What's the wackiest horror film, under budget, that you've ever seen? Wack. It doesn't even have to be good. That's the most wackiest shit you've ever seen. It could be like some dude, like, taking a shit, and it's like a horror shit or some shit like that. Like some crazy...
I'm going to say Humanoids from the Deep.
What makes that crazy?
I don't even know how to explain what they are, but they basically come here to impregnate women.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. They don't really explain it.
The
movie's like an hour and 20 minutes long.
There's no backstory?
Not really. They're just there. And then there's like a carnival in it, I think. It all takes place in like one day. Like it starts in the morning when they come and they take a couple people here and there, trying to impregnate the women.
What the fuck?
And then there's like a carnival at the end and they all just like attack. And then that's it.
That's it? That's the whole movie?
It's great.
Impregnate women, go to a carnival, and attack.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's the whole movie.
Pretty much.
You just summed it all up.
Yeah.
Don't even gotta watch it now.
No, it's 5 minutes. I can tell you the whole story.
How long is the movie?
Not long. Hour and 20 maybe.
They made
Is
the most underrated horror film, in your opinion, of all time?
Alright. I'm going to go with Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
How come you think that's an underrated film?
It was just very different for its time when it came out. Nothing was really done like that before. It's basically a mockumentary about like a guy that wants to become a serial killer, so he hires like a film crew, to follow him. And he's showing like his ideas, what he's gonna do in that. And he's talking about like he has to the final girl has to survive, so she has to be a virgin. No sex, of course. You don't survive if you have sex. And so like he's they talk to like other serial killers in it, and they film it, and it was just really awesome, and no one seemed to know about it.
Is it like a twist to the ending? Is it
yeah, there is. Yeah, it stops like a documentary at the end. Like the last 20 minutes is actually like a horror movie once he actually starts doing the killing. But yeah, there's a little twist in it.
Was it released by like a major studio or
That one. I don't think it was like a major studio. Like I don't even think it went to the theaters.
really?
Yeah, because I actually didn't see it for like 2 or 3 years after it was made. Like after it actually came out. It was just one of those movies I like stumbled upon.
How'd you end up finding the movie?
I was just looking through. It was actually on Netflix when I found it. And I was just going through the horror. I didn't see anything good lately, and just sounded interested, and yeah, it was really good.
Well, you hear that first. If you're ever in the market for a new horror movie to watch, I would check it out. Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Stay tuned for the next episode. I'm sure Jeff will be a reoccurring guest.
I got lots more horror we can talk about.
If you have any topics or conversations for our next podcast, we do have a Twitter. It is the O.P.O.C. Podcast on Twitter. We also have an Instagram, same name on Instagram. Follow us. Send a tweet. Every episode we'll be posting a kind of like a message where we're live. If you have any topics, send us in. I'll tell you the guests that we have, some of their background, and we'll talk about it. So hope you enjoyed. Thank you.